Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
We call people Zimbabweans. We call people Malawians. We call people who come from outside Makwerekwere. Whereas we are Makwerekwere ourselves, because we come from where those people come from. None of us come from here. We came from the north and found the koi and the sand here in Southern Africa, and we settled here. The koi and the sand welcomed us here. So we should welcome others as well, the same way we were welcomed here. Know your history. You will appreciate our fellow brothers and sisters from Africa.
You will rather not vote for me. I am not desperate to become president of South Africa. I am desperate to unite the African continent. And if the unity of my people is going to cost me votes, you can take your vote. I don't want xenophobic votes. I don't want the votes of haters. Yeah, man. Monna baka motloya ka mokgomo ka monna a re kopan la tloya motho a reng a re kopane la re woke problem. We must hate those who divide us, not those who unite us. South Africa, you are not Europe of Africa. You are Africa.
We have never had borders. I've never created borders. I cannot be responsible for borders. Decoloniality means that you do away with the things that were imposed on us by colonizers. You can't say we don't want colonizers, but you want borders. What type of an argument is that? We need a borderless Africa the same way we have a borderless Europe. We're not asking for something that is not done somewhere in the world. We need free movement of goods and persons. But those people must be documented. We say to South Africans, take IDs. How do you say to South Africans they must take IDs and then other people must not have documents? No one must move in South Africa or Africa without documents, so that we can locate you if there is.
Now I'm prepared to go home. Now I'm fine. I will never take a platform and denounce Africans. I will never do it. If it means votes are going, let them go. Now I'm prepared to go home. But to take a platform and please white minority by pointing a finger at my other fellow black brothers, I'm not going to do that. When I see a Nigerian or a Zimbabwean or a Congolese or Ghanaian, I see myself. EFF can commission internal research to see to what extent is this thing hurting the EFF. But I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared to take a platform and say foreigners must go home. I would rather not be a president of South Africa. I'll be a president of my children at home. We'll practice cabinet there. No, I don't want. I must go and tell these hungry Zimbabweans to live here. And when I tell them to leave, I send them to where? To die. To die. I would rather die with them than to allow them to die alone.
In Mozambique, we want free and fair elections. In Zimbabwe, we call on Zimbabweans to stop being cowards and confront Mnangagwa's government and go and reclaim their own country. They cannot continue to stay in South Africa as if they are enjoying life here. You will never enjoy life in somebody else's country. You can only enjoy life if you go home and remove ZANU-PF from power and arrest those who are stealing the gold of Zimbabwe. Comrades,
let the borders be open. And if the gates are not going to be open for SADC, fellow SADC people, please find a creative way. This is your home. Your families are here. There's no way anyone is going to close you out here. Lesotho and Free State are one thing. Mpumalanga and Swaziland are one thing. Northwest and Botswana are one thing. Limpopo and Zimbabwe are one thing. What is the point? There's no point at all except people who suffer from self-hate. Put South Africa first nonsense. The borders are closed. Put South Africa says close the borders. The borders are closed. Are you employed now? You are not employed, even with borders closed. Even with the borders closed. To show that the problem of unemployment will never be resolved by closing of borders on our own people, who majority of them do the work that you South Africans don't want to do. So you are fooling yourself. Leave Africans to interact freely and move freely in this continent of theirs.